Hello, Miss Emma. This is Mina. I'm going to read a clip from End of Green Gables, Chapter 3. Anne sat up in bed. She didn't know where she was. Then she remembered. This was Green Gables, and they didn't want her because she wasn't a boy. Anne jumped out of bed and knelt in front of the window to look out. On both sides of the house were apple and cherry trees. In the garden stood lilac trees with purple flowers. Beyond the garden, a file sloped down to the brook, and past that was a hill covered with spruce and fir trees. Anne was startled by a hand on her shoulder. "It's time you were dressed," said Marilla said. Anne stood up. "Green Gables is so beautiful," she said. "I was imagining that I was going to stay here forever and ever. You'd better get dressed." "Never mind your imaginations," said Marilla. "Breakfast is waiting." Soon Anne was downstairs. Her clothes were neat. Her hair was brushed and braided, and her face was washed. After breakfast, Anne offered to clean the dishes. "Can you wash dishes right?" Marilla asked. "Pretty well," Anne said, "but I'm better look after children. It's too bad you don't have any here for me to look after. I don't want any more children than I've got now," said Marilla. "You're a problem enough. What's to be done with you?" "I don't know. Matthew is a silly man." "I think he's lovely," said Anne. "I felt he was a kindred spirit as soon as I saw him. You're both odd, if that's what you mean," Marilla said with a sniff. "You may wash the dishes. Use plenty of hot water and be sure to dry them well." After Anne washed the dishes, Marilla told her she could go out until lunch. Anne ran to the door, but when she reached the doorway, she stopped. She turned and came back to the table. "What's the matter now?" demanded Marilla. "I don't dare go out," Anne said. "I won't be able to help loving all those trees and flowers and the orchard and the brook. It's so hard to keep from loving things, isn't it? I was very glad when I thought I was going to live here. I thought I'd have so many things to love, but that dream is over, so I don't think I'll go out. I'll just here." Anne sat at the table until Matthew came in for lunch. As they ate, Marilla said, "I'm going to drive to White Sands with Anne. Mrs. Spencer will probably arrange to send her back to the orphanage." Matthew said nothing. After lunch, he hitched the horse to the buggy. Then he opened the yard gate for Marilla and Anne. Marilla looked back as the buggy bounced along. Matthew was leaning leaning over the gate, looking sadly after them. I made up my mind to enjoy this drive, said Anne. I'm not going to think about the orphanage. Are we going over the lake of shining waters today? We're not going over Barrett's Pond. If that's what you mean, Marilla said, and if you're going to talk, you might as well tell me about yourself. I was 11 last March, and started. I was born in Bolingbroke, Nova Scotia. My parents were Walter and Bertha Shirley. They were teachers. They both died of a fever that when I was a baby. No one knew what to do with me, and continued. I didn't have any real types. Finally, Mrs. Thomas said she'd take me. She was our housekeeper. I helped look after her fellow children, and they took a lot of looking after. When I was 8 years old, Mr. Thomas died. His mother wanted Mrs. Thomas and the children, but she didn't want me. Then what happened? Maria asked. Then Mrs. Hammond took me because I was handing with children, and said she had 8 children. 6 of them were twins. Then Mr. Hammond died. Mrs. Hammond and her children left, so I had to go to the orphanage. And it was overcrowded, but they had to take me. Were those women good to you? Marilla asked. Anne's face turned red. She took a breath. Oh, they meant to be, she said slowly. But they had a lot to worry about. You know, they were poor, and Mrs. Thomas' husband was drunk a lot of the time, and Marilla asked no more questions. Pity was straining in her heart for Anne. What a terrible life she'd had. No wonder she longed for a real home. What if she let Anne stay at Green Gables? Matthew was set on it, and Anne seemed nice enough. Thank you for watching, chat.